guys, another day bouncing across the fields out here doing a little spraying. So this morning we're doing a little Chemfallow spraying. You can see it's a little bit different than the liquid fertilizer, so we're just spraying out all the weeds on this what we call Chemfallow ground. There's nothing growing on this field this year, letting it rest, take a break type of thing. But we have to get rid of the weeds still so we don't have just massive weeds. And you can see the spray is not streaming down like the liquid fertilizer was in that video. It's more of an actual kind of spray going everywhere. Same speed and everything. However, our rate is about half of what it was for liquid fertilizer. So we're only doing 5 gallon an acre work now instead of 10. And other than that, I guess let's see, the nozzles, I had to change those. That's why we have that kind of different setting. And also we are running a little bit closer to the ground as well than when we were doing the liquid fertilizer. But yeah, other than that, we just kind of cruise along. It's a little bit longer in between fill-ups. And hopefully the weeds actually die too. Sometimes if you don't have enough chemical on, then the weeds don't die and they actually start becoming resistant to the chemical. So we gotta keep things pretty hot and just check on the weeds, make sure they're actually dying too. So if we were doing a little chemical spraying, I figured I'd show you guys our setup for all our chemical. So these 3 tanks are actually all just clean water. There's no chemical that goes in them. Not supposed to be anyway. And then we've got our actual chemical set up here. We've got our pump hooked up to the water, and then for our little mixer for the chemical that goes in there. So when we are doing chemical and trying to add it to our mix, you have it measured out here. We've got all the gallons there. And then once you have the amount of gallons you want in that, you simply open that little valve and it dumps it in and sucks it through the pump. We always want to have the pump running too when we're dumping chemical, because we don't want any of the chemical to go back into any of our water tanks. And some of the chemicals we got here is a foliar blend. It's almost like a vitamin type of thing for your crops. It's got all sorts of just different types of vitamins and stuff in it pretty much. Used for all kinds of different crops as well. We've got just some good old Roundup there as well. It's got a little electric pump on that. Like we said, we dump it in our little mix tank. And then we've got a surfactant, and that kind of helps the chemicals stick to the weeds and stuff better, and the plants too. Helps break up the surface tension, and it's recommended for using on different chemicals. So, but yeah, that's kind of just a quick overview of our whole chemical setup here. And just kind of going with showing off all of our chemical station here, I figured I'd show you guys kind of how we fill up just the water too. So we've got this hose right here. He runs all the way here, and I'll show you where it goes in back there behind the house. But we just unhook this hose that connects to all the water tanks, hook him up to here, so those two are hooked together, and then we open whatever valve we're gonna be filling first for the tank. We mostly just use these 2 big tanks for when we're doing chemical stuff. This is just kind of our overflow tank, and if we need a little water for just like filling our water truck and fire truck and everything like that. And now we'll head back here and we'll kind of speed this up a little bit. So now we're down here at the cistern. This is our main water tank for the houses and stuff. And you can see our hose goes all the way over to the chemical fill station. So like I said earlier, we're trying not to have any contaminants in our water, so you always just have extra little safety measures. That's why we have this valve right here. So when we're filling it, first thing we do is start the motor up, let it warm up a little bit. Make sure the valve's open down at the chemical. Crank this guy up, and then you open the valve and you start filling. And then, yep, that way you just don't have any contaminants ending up in your main drinking water tank. Man, it is just absolutely beautiful out. So we're kind of just doing all sorts of different little random odd jobs this week. And one of these jobs is we're gonna pressure wash out our tandem truck we use for seed during seeding time. And we like to just kind of clean that guy all out here, just in case there's any treat. Usually you can see the dyed treat in here. However, it does look pretty clean already. But we do like to just kind of wash it out, make sure all the treat's out of there, so then we can use it for other things without having to worry about the treat. Because you cannot have any treat that's non-organic, or actually any treat at all, go to the elevators. So if we have to haul some grain or something with this truck, then we know it's all cleaned out and ready to go. Always something with this old truck. This is our old Ford 9000 tandem truck here. Fun fact about this truck, it actually got rolled once back when I was probably in elementary school or something like that. Yeah, so it seems to always have some kind of problem. Anyways, I had to fix one part of the brake line here. It was sliced off right about there, so I just cut a little bit off. I think we still got enough. We don't take this thing on the highway or anything, so don't worry about that too much. But that's stopped leaking. Then we've got another line that was really kind of rigged up here. Gets scooted on under. And we've got this nice little repair job there. That's another line. Try to get the flashlight set up there. There we go. That's a little bit better. So this actually, I think, got stuck in the drive line there and kind of ripped a little hole in that airline. And I didn't have any couplers to make it fit quite right. So I did have this on-off valve, so I just kind of split it, took the cut chunk out of it, and then I just sort of slapped that little valve in there, and that seems to be holding it for now too. So yeah, we only really use this truck for just kind of during seeding and stuff like that. We're not going anywhere. It usually just stays in the yard. So yep, that's a good enough fix for this little pig. Kind of another different operation going on here today. I'm trying to clean out some dirty chickpeas. We've got some of them got a little wet, so they're molding, but then other ones are okay. So we've got just our little auger here, a little hydraulically ran auger, with a little hydraulic pump. Then it's ran off the power, and then we're just dumping it into our conveyor into the truck. So we've got this nice little brake plate here. Over on there, finger shape, but it also has big molded stuff. You can see some of them don't even like to come out of the truck really well. You have to kind of open it quick, pull the big chunks out, and then shut it again. You don't hold that guy. So it's going to be kind of a slow little going job here. It's going to definitely take a little while, not super quick, but we'll see. We hopefully might get rained on some too.